Alright, folks, welcome back, everyone. 欢迎大家回来。今天是第495天。It is day 495. We're getting close to that 500. So, gotta start preparing some stuff for the review. Let's get into our reviews here. Oh, actually, fun stuff. So there is a new update. So we have a new update. Just to demonstrate, you can edit the mnemonics now. And they also provided tokens, sound, like all the 5 tokens, including word tokens. Interesting. So you can replace this, which, yeah, it's there. I've been writing the mnemonics in the notes anyways, so it would be kind of fun to see the color and stuff. I'll probably end up using it and seeing how it works out. But yeah, that's a new feature for those who like get really annoyed. I think this is more of a out of sight, out of mind situation, and I typically do not go about studying by thinking out of sight, out of mind. Like, for example, when you read this, right, and someone says, this is a typical complaint that I do hear from, in my opinion, people who like out of sight, out of mind, or literal people, which tends to be individuals who are online. If they see something they disagree with, it's a point of consternation, not a point of education. So, for example, if you read this mnemonic and you keep clicking on this and you see a mnemonic that you don't care about or something you don't like, you want to remove it, right? And then, so it's out of sight, out of mind. You don't want to spend time looking over something you disagree with or you don't understand. That's typically what this is for. So now you can edit all of this stuff. And if you edit and you're not, you don't like it, if you delete all of it, it just defaults back to the original. So now a lot of people would be happy with this. For myself, I disagree with this type of approach typically. I often lean towards looking for what you can add, not what you can subtract. So if I fail, for example, to understand this, I don't delete this. I look at it and I create something off of it. And then at some point, there's a chance that I can still connect with this based on what I have written. So I form a connection with this. So in order to understand something that I don't understand, I form a connection with it, or aka an association with something from my own memory. So then I learn from both the things. Oftentimes, yes, that will take up time, right? Some people would argue, well, it's not worth their time to understand something they don't want to understand. And that's perfectly fine. Like, I'm okay with that. I have no reason to convince someone who don't want to understand something or try to understand something they don't want to understand. That's rule number 1, right? It's very difficult to suggest anyone willing to do something if they're not willing to do it in the first place. So for myself, though, it's the lesser of habits. If someone wrote something, I don't simply supersede it as though I'm the main character or someone that I know better. I simply use it, acknowledge that it exists, and then iterate on it or form an association with it. So this is a neat tool. Like, now they can adjust the criticism, but I'm not the target audience. I'm basically not the target audience for this. It would be kind of neat. I actually want to do it separately. Here's my hot take. For me personally, I would have preferred that I could do it in the notes section. So like this field right here is only edible, like these tokens are only available in here. I wouldn't mind. I'm basically gonna do it down here as a separate thing, because then I can compare. So like I can do this, right? I can do this. Why does it say S? Hang on. Oh, because it's to mark new one. So like I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna shorthand my. Oh, I see. Oh, can I tab? I think I can tab. They can tab complete. Oh no, you can't tab complete. Just kidding. So this kind of thing, I'm gonna probably do it on the bottom. I don't like the idea of. I'm not the biggest fan of people who go around like think, and they're trying to learn by reducing as much of the resistance to learning in general. So like in order to learn something, they make it as easy, as simple-minded, as well-practiced as possible for efficiency's sake. I totally get it when you don't have enough time for these things. So like, why learn someone else's perspective or someone else's process of learning when you clearly know how to learn the best way you learn yourself? If that sounds arrogant to you, then yeah, it is supposed to be arrogant. When you read someone else's content, right, and say, no, I don't care for this. This isn't worth my time. That is arrogance, and it's prideful, and also efficient. So for all of its efficiency, you learn nothing from the process by ignoring it. And that's fair, right? I just wanted to draw this attention because this is kind of neat. I like that they did this. However, I'm not the target audience. I actually think this is relatively innocuous, because if you don't understand something and you have a leech from not understanding this, then you must create something on top of this. Ignoring this means you gain nothing, which is fine, right? Again, trying to understand something that you can't understand at first, that is the very core of learning. So you can pick and choose what you want to learn. And for myself, I often think when someone presents a product that they spent many years to design, the greatest value that come from buying the product that you voluntarily bought is to understand the work of that person's many years. Now, I'm not suggesting all products have some valuable lesson that return on dividends. In the world of the internet, we buy based on very informed decisions, right? We buy on informed content. So the question is, why be interested in practicing how other people think or learn how other people think? Because then who are you going to trust? How are you going to be a judge of character? Are you going to trust blindly? Or are you going to stick to all of your objectivity because somehow objectivity solves everything? It really doesn't. Objectivity does not solve everything. One of the biggest objectivity questions that does not solve things is why you don't care about information in front of you. It's the very root of how many do not understand how to empathize or have emotional intelligence enough to be a judge of character, right? Like, who do you trust? Well, if you're predicating on pure objectivity, then you may want to go and hang out with a bunch of businessmen who care about numbers only, or something like that, right? Meanwhile, you sit there and say, I'm being objective, and why does everyone lie to me? It's because objectivity doesn't quite explain why people have motivations to lie, right? That's kind of one of those things. And this is kind of a trivial way of demonstrating what the applications are. If you think something this trivial is something you don't practice, then that might be okay. However, if you approach everything like this, so like every time when you find something disagrees with you or you don't understand it at first, and your first inclination is to sweep it under the rug, I would not be surprised if you had problems making new friends. Not that you have to, right? If you're not in the market for new friends or new people, new experiences, or trying to connect with other people, then you're perfectly fine. You know, said a 60 or 50-year-old or 60-year-old with lots of good close friends that they've cultivated over many years. That's great. When you're younger and the first thing you do online is that everything panders to you and all the algorithmic things are to serve you exactly your myopic view of the world, right? Where it's self-selected based on your really narrow experience. This is what I mean. I feel whenever a developer, I still think kudos to, you know, Kevin and Phil to do something like this. For me, doing it this way, if I had my personal criticism, doing it this way, like having people allowed to edit your content. Not that I'm saying I don't know if they think their content is good or not or universal. Having people constantly pandering and focusing on features that allow others to edit the content that you made as a developer, in my opinion, is, if I had to be very objective and upfront about it, shows weakness in your content, and it also welcomes it voids the efficacy of the content or the program. Like changing that, this is my concern with like FSRS and like constant bickering of when someone says, well, this app doesn't let me do everything in my own image, so it's a crappy app. It's like, I don't like the way this app or this game is designed. I wish it was designed the way I like it, right? That is, in my opinion, a choice you can make as a developer, a publisher, and a consumer. For myself personally, it also means that neither the developer, consumer, or the publisher have confidence in their own content, as well as consistently pandering to either the consumer or the developer, either way. Like, say, like if I'm shilling out for HanziHero, that's not a discussion being made. It's not a compromise being made. So in both cases, the way the developer grows and the way the consumer grows, that relationship requires compromises that have confidence from both ends. So oftentimes whenever I see these features, like when people request features, the difference between a community like the Wakotabi community, for example, they're talking about what features to add. So the developer is constantly asking what type of features to add, but those additions are in fact additions, not features to edit and do displacement and subtraction. So in this case, I'm not entirely sure. It'll be interesting to see what people and what most end up using. My guess is that they're going to use this feature to delete things. So they're going to delete this and write their own thing, which in my opinion is not quite the aspect of learning. It is actually counterproductive to spend most of your time trying to delete information or displace information. And a really big hot take on this, in my opinion, it's like trying to learn Chinese by not using English. I know this is a really hot take because I think some people believe that's how you learn, right? the difference here is when someone says use Chinese, not English, or like stop translating in your head, they're talking about using your native language as a routine, like a routine that you have already learned. It's a learned routine, which is not what I'm talking about. The distinction is you're combining English and Chinese, where English is now leveraged and is transforming. So you're actively learning the relationship between Chinese and English. You're not routinely just translating without learning anything else. Like, this is no more, like, not new process. So how does this relate to this? Is you buy HanziHero, and then you're like, I don't need the mnemonic because I already have Anki. Then don't buy HanziHero, in my opinion. Because what are you doing? Like, what does it do in addition to it? Like, you voided most of the value, at least in my opinion. Are you looking for SRS? I mean, Anki has SRS. And then here's another thing that happens a lot of times, where if you go to school, right? Or we can use Duolingo as well. Where when you have Duolingo, these are prescribed, right? They're prescribed schedules, right? Like structure. So if your goal is that, oh, you go to school and you're like, oh man, I don't like the structure, right? The structure sucks. Why can't school or Duolingo move at a pace I want? Then don't go to school and don't use Duolingo, for example, right? And the thing, I'm bringing this up because literally a new post, a new user who's like, I think they're maybe 2 weeks in, and the feature that they request is to up the limit of lessons per day. To like, they were upset that it only goes up to 40. They wanted it up to like, I don't know, 50 plus. And I have been using HanziHero. Well, for the first week, you know, we used the default, which was 10 lessons a day for like the first month to see what the pacing is like, right? Because we have to understand what the pacing is like. And then we moved to 20. And then it has never changed since then, right? And now we're 1.5 years into it. And the number I see, even the way I do it, I'm looking at a number that's 2,667. So this is what I mean by there are such things as overconfidence, overconfidence with non-transferable skills. And one of them, or limited scope. This is when someone believes that they learned something before and they keep to that learning process. So they keep thinking that they're intuitively learning and bootstrapping through their same routine. So when they start something new, they're like, oh, it's not going fast enough. And it's like, I'm usually this fast, and expecting that they somehow know what's going to happen later. And for myself, much like the person who responded, someone who uses HanziHero, the idea is this person hasn't even done it long enough to realize how quickly this can stack up. And based on their expression and their the way they talk about the learning process, like the language learning process, it feels like it's their first time or one of their first times. And that's kind of what I'm referring to when it comes to too much flexibility. Or too much flexibility is maybe like a little bit more like a too feature rich. And that other person that responded had a very cogent point that I like to emphasize, which is it's very difficult to know what your pace is in the beginning. You have to spend some time to understand the consistency before you start overestimating or underestimating, however you're doing it. And you may not know what the pace is until later, right? So having too many features can be both detrimental as well as beneficial. So that person made a comment where like, yeah, you know, adding the option is pretty good. Like you could make an argument if there's a choice in there, then having more choices is always good. Well, that is not the case, because we're not talking about objectivity here. We're talking about subjectivity. Objectively, I agree with most of the people when it says, you know, when a tool is feature rich, having the choice is always better than not having the choice, right? Flexibility is king, objectively, because then the tool can do everything. So objectively, it is better than not having the choice, right? However, when you factor in subjectivity, overconfidence can create negative positions in being feature rich. And this person made an argument or suggested a possibility that you can actually add features that end up reducing user retention versus subtracting features or withholding features. There is a way to go about this, but with subtracting features, aka streamlining, that actually increases user retention because of subjectivity. So one of the things I often talk about when it comes to like when someone says, "Oh, do you recommend this?" or recommend that, recommend it, and you ask the person like, "Okay, so what type of features are you looking for? What do you know about your current learning situation? What type of tasks that you believe is in your routine that is required?" Then you match it or you look at it from the tool perspective. What does the tool offer as a feature? Because there can be too much and too less, right? Not enough for growth, too much to be overwhelmed or overconfident or trapped in the sense. So Anki comes up a lot in these situations where like, well, if you know what you want, you know how your routine works, you have a background in using various feature-rich platforms, Anki might be the choice. The idea is school has a structure because typically the people who are in school don't want to be over encumbered or bother with a structure. The irony here, at least in my opinion, is those people believe often that they don't need that structure. And the moment they leave that structure, they have no way of producing structure yet. Like, where are you going to learn how to produce structure without witnessing and experiencing structure? So whenever I go to here and I see someone like, oh yeah, I love a platform that provides no foundations and allows me to do anything at my whim. Well, I've met 4 or 5 people who so far have done that, and what they ended up doing is they create a curriculum that was a mess. They burned out within the month, and they have no form of pacing, no form of scheduling, no form of time, despite things like Anki having an SRS. They lack structure to the point where the task itself couldn't be scheduled consistently, because their life also lacks structure outside of the structure that's provided for them. So that's kind of one of those things. It is tied to this, where certainly you can choose not to understand something. This is provided on the assumption that you have enough foundations to do it yourself, right? And when you do it yourself, you are still responsible for your own growth. So the moment you remove someone's structure, removes someone's content, and ignore things, in my opinion, one of the first questions you should ask yourself: can I do this already? And then you have to demonstrate it to yourself. Consistently, you have to demonstrate it to yourself that you can do it. So basically, when you say, I don't need this, right? So what are you doing? What did you do instead, right? And then can you do it? And does it work? Because I do genuinely get this a lot, and it's a leap of logic that's applied. Basically, when a tool doesn't work, right? When a tool doesn't work, when someone says, oh yeah, this tool is garbo, and then I ask them, so how are you using it? Like, what do you think? So how? What are you using it for? And, you know, like, why? Why do you think what it's being done is how it's not working? Usually, after discussing this, it didn't explain what the tool does. So something like, a tool A doesn't help me speak Chinese, and then I asked them, okay, why do you think it helps you speak Chinese? And then, you know, and then how does it do that, right? How and why does it do that? Like, can you give me an example? What examples do you have? And the idea is like, oh, this tool is garbage, and I'm like, it doesn't ask you to speak. So how did you expect that you were going to get better at speaking Chinese by not speaking? That's kind of what I mean. And where's the leap of logic? The leap of logic, which is, hats off to the immersion group of people. The leap of logic is if you have enough input from hearing, for example, somehow that sufficiently translates into speaking without doing it. This is the leap of logic that I'm talking about. Or when someone says they've read a lot of characters, that would imply that they can actively recall the characters. It's not true. Like, this part, I spend quite a lot of time doing this part, and it's still very, like, for me, I'm still trying very hard. It's like I spend nearly double the amount of time trying to do active recall. And what is the form of active recall do I have? Imagery in my head, right? Imagery, writing, and deduction, which is what I do in Boom Pro all the time now, because Monikani helped me get the inputs, so the seeing part. And then now I'm using, in Boom Pro, I'm in the process of active recalling. So I use deduction, writing, and imagery to do the active recalling. It's very consistently true whenever I ask someone, okay, so you know what sun is, right? You know what sun is. That's pretty good. So what's the difference between sun and self? I'm not going to even write the character on screen. What's the difference between sun and I? Right? Or mu. Mu and ru. Right? Mu, ru. That's, and then demonstrate it to me. Write it out. Explain it to me. Because it's a lot more difficult than one might think. Largely because the tool doesn't ask you to do that. So whenever someone argues or presents a case to me and say things like, oh, this tool is great, like for or against me, they both require a leap of logic. One of them would say something like, oh, hey, you must know a lot of characters now. You must be able to use and write a lot of characters from this tool. The answer is no. It doesn't actually do that. Right? Like, oh, you're reading, it must be way easier now to like read paragraphs and sentences. Not particularly. This is for deductive reasoning and character recognition. So yes, it does lead and contribute to it. It takes a leap of logic to think that you're learning disjointed, like you're learning characters, and it transitions specifically to a task you haven't done. It allows you to bridge the task. So it makes it easier, per se, to read sentences, provided that you actually recall this stuff. So, like, this is where I have a big gripe right now. It's a pet peeve of mine right now. When someone says something like this, like, oh, they know this character. So when they go to read a sentence with this character in there, right? They look at it and they're like, I don't know. And like, well, this character looks familiar, right? And it ends there. That's where it ends. They only have a recognition of the character. And I would ask them, okay, so what do you think it means? Right? And they could say something like, well, it kind of looks like, well, I recognize this part, right? This would be Lee. Or, actually, I would be impressed, but for Chinese Mile, a Chinese Mile, right? And it might be related to Lee, right? And there are plenty of ways it can be related, but it ends here. This is where you can tell if someone is using deduction, if they are recalling and associating, because everything is seen as new again. So in the minds of the people that I've been interacting with, what they do is they remember the character. Then they remember the word. It's not then. They remember the character. They remember the word. They see the sentence. And then they see the instance, or they see the instance of a use. And that's it. So they're remembering 1, 2, 3, 4 things separately. There isn't any bridge. There's no practice in bridging. So not how the character is related to the word, how the word is related to the sentence of its use, and the instance in which they found it in their immersion. And how does this work? It ties back to the feature. Out of sight, out of mind. When you choose, in my opinion, to spend most of your life ignoring the things you don't care about and not challenging yourself to understand something that you initially do not understand, and then forming bridges, then that is the opposite of learning. Literally the operation of learning is to figure out the association between what you currently know and what the new information it is that's coming in. So now I'm not saying that people don't do learning in different ways and they selectively prioritize the ways. My inclination is, if this is happening to you, like if this is happening more often in language, for example, language learning, where you feel like you're remembering 4 separate things, despite these concepts being connected together, it may also reveal a more lifestyle choice, in my opinion. And the lifestyle choice of thinking. And that is a lack of critical thinking skills, a lack of comparative analyses, and association. The idea is that everything feels like it's constantly doubling on itself or tripling and quadrupling on itself, is all of them are separate things. You have no connection, contrast, differentiation. In fact, the closest amount of comparative analysis someone does is by differentiation. And I actually rely on this as a leaping point to get someone to understand the difference between comparative analyses and differentiation. Because when you differentiate, it's actually not making a connection in a strong sense. It's making the loosest connection. Like, for example, English is not Chinese. So if this is your mindset, right? English is not Chinese, then anytime English comes up, you're trying to divorce it from Chinese. Well, there's an alternative way to look at this. Both of them are languages. So if you're going to ask a linguist, for example, comparing them creates stronger connections, which is what are the differences and similarities. If you're predicated on differences, then you're remembering 2 different things. If you're comparing them, you're comparing a similar principle and seeing how they differ in that similar principle. For example, comparing the mora system in Japanese to the tonal system in Chinese to the syllable system in English. Now you're comparing different things. These are different things, but they're similar because they involve aspects of like timing, pitch. So these are comparative analyses. You're comparing concepts that exist between all 3 of these to make the connection. So that branches with all of these. So whenever I see a mnemonic, right, and someone says, oh no, I'm just gonna ignore that mnemonic because I don't like it. I'm like, okay. Hopefully you don't, in my opinion, hopefully you don't do that for everything. Because the moment that is everything, then I would not be surprised when I ask that person, it's like, why are you coming to me to ask me about making friends? Because making friends require that you start somewhere. You start by not really understanding the person, and then you bridge it by sharing and exchanging information to create a relationship, a tether. So in in the world of online, compulsive and chronic online targeted algorithmic experience, it's incredibly pervasive and chronic that individuals do not make connections or make attempts at connections. The easiest way to do things is to simply hope that they find someone or something or some tool that thinks like them. And as much as I want to say that in the world you can stick to what you do best and be sufficient, that's usually not realistically the case. So that's one of my big things. It's neat. I think it's neat that you're allowed to edit stuff. I feel like on training wheels, or like not necessarily training wheels, that sounds like a little bit condescending. As a foundation, it would be great to ask people like, hey, do you want to edit this? Might want to encourage you to add to the mnemonic as opposed to subtract from the mnemonic. Because the moment I think of an editing tool, my first thought is, man, it's going to be really disappointing if the person looked at this tool and they're like, oh yes, now I can just start off by making my own mnemonics. And my first thought is, well, I really hope that you're an experienced person with like 30 plus years of experience to draw from or something, and in the expert, in expert field of something. Because usually if you're younger, inexperienced, or you already are arrogant enough to think that deleting information makes you learn faster or learn better, I would say it's very tough to make that argument. Removing information often does not make someone learn faster or better in any way. Typically, removing information means that you have less information to work with. Whether it's meaningful or not, the existence of that information is the point of subjective consternation. So we're talking about subjective feelings. Because this is here, it makes people angry or annoyed. And my first thought is, how can this be annoying if it has no value to you yet? Right? This is cognitive dissonance. When you tell me, oh, this is worthless. So if it's worthless and it's there, why does it bother you? It clearly is not worthless if it bothers you. It's worth your anger and annoyance, so then you delete it. And then when you delete it, you have less information. Period. There's no, like, the objective truth is that you learn less. Less information, less to learn. Period. Right? However, I'm trying to be more sensitive about it. It's subjectively worthless, right? Because we're talking about value. It's subjectively worthless. So because it's subjectively worthless, somehow it annoys you for being there, despite saying it has no value, right? That's kind of like playing a video game and hoping that the video game plays exactly the way you think it is. There's nothing to be learned. You've learned nothing. Right? If it plays exactly the way you imagined it did, there's no intellectual growth from that, right? And I think that's kind of ties in all of the stuff that I read about each and every day. I go to the community tab on Wanikani, Boom Pro, and HanziHero, and I basically read comments on how people provide advice and all of that. And oftentimes it comes up with, well, it depends. And then this person goes on to speak about all their dependencies. And because they speak about their dependencies, it gives me the opportunity to see if they're talking about dependencies in which it caters to limiting the person's growth potential and learning potential, or are they talking about dependencies that encourages the person to explore those dependencies. Like whenever someone says, oh, well, it depends on your learning style, that's a red flag. That's a really big red flag. It depends on your learning style. So the person's advice is actively encouraging, in my opinion, actively encouraging that person to think in a narrow scope so that they can only learn in a specific way. It's different if the person says, well, it depends. There are many ways to learn. Here's a couple of examples of people learning in different ways. You can try some of them out. If any of these are interesting, try it out. If you're familiar with some of them, you might start there and use others as a form of inspiration. That's different. That's encouraging learning. It's discouraging learning when someone provides advice that puts them into a box. And unfortunately, at least to my disappointment, personally, to my disappointment, the vast majority of people project their advice depending on a learning style, a optimal style, a best style, a BIS lifestyle for learning. And my first thought is, well, if you're learning BIS and you did learn BIS, right, like best in slide learning strategy, you're going to hope, and I hope this is true for that person, they never have to learn again. Like they never have to relearn any process or expand or iterate on any process. It'll take them to the rest of their days. And that would be great. And my thought is that true? Like if someone asks me, well, do you believe it? Is it true that if you go online and learn one of the best strategies to learn, because learning has an age, right? We're evolutionarily constrained species. So there's got to be fundamentals to learning that don't change ever. So they must be the best stuff, right? All right. If that were true, I would, if I argue against myself, okay, let's just assume it's not true. Or if it is true, I actually believe it's not true. So I'll go out of my way with null hypothesis tests and ask myself, is it true that there's a best way to learn and that it's available on the internet now? So then people will never have trouble learning because it would be selectively biased towards that type of learning, right? When you're given the choice. I did not come out with a definitive answer. So, like, to me, I believe, at least in my opinion, humbly, that I have enough skills to research, to come up with an internet's best method, right? You just go down and I would be able to list them. I'm not listing them because I actually don't know what they are. To this day, I'm still not confident in some of the core aspects. Like, what is one of the core aspects? Be consistent, right? And then you're wondering, oh yeah, well that's easy, right? Overconfidence, trite comment, be consistent. And I'm like, what does that look like? I mean, I can describe what consistent means to me. Like, whoever's here just randomly popping in, hearing me do a random digression from the screen, this is consistent to me. Someone else can come by and say, no, you're not being consistent with studying. You're just basically yapping all day. Like, how do you think I am consistent with my studies? I'm trying to find meaning in my studies. The most important thing to me is to understand how to be consistent with learning, right? So if someone is arguing like, well, you're yapping all the time, how could you possibly be consistent with studying? The yapping is the compromise that I'm making to reinforce something that is required for me to be consistent with looking at the screen, with looking at these characters. Because the most important thing to me is the consistency of the learning process, not the content. Like, I can keep consuming content. That's like, oh, hey, here, let's just speed run all the content. That's fair enough. That's a different consistency. So when someone, presents themselves like, oh yeah, learning is easy, it's always fundamentally the same thing. And I'm like, probably I would agree with you objectively. It's fundamentally, we can objectively define a lot of fundamentals to learning. I absolutely agree with that. That's what school is. That's what formal education does. There's standardization because of objectivity. And yet, whenever I go to ask people, which I've asked now nearly hundreds of people, how do they go about learning? I've yet to hear some of the major core foundations of learning, which, for the record, I myself believe is objectively true. Not subjective, objective. You don't learn anything without new information would be one of the tenets of like learning. No new information means nothing changes. Like nothing, if you're in a closed system, you learn nothing. Now, you can create and serendipitously construct new things within the confines of your system. That's iterative. You're iterating on something. And that iterating creates interactions that it in itself is a new thing, not an old thing. So those are emergent properties, right? That would constitute as being new. So that is a possibility. It's far rarer than having no information. So no information goes in, rarely is new information or new things learned going out. So that's one of them. And yet someone could tell me like they're learning a lot because they delete everything. They're learning how to draw because they delete all their old sketches. They don't sketch at all. They only save their final product in their art project. They learn a lot of math by discarding all their previous foundations in order to learn the complex things without understanding the connection to the foundations. That, to me, is like the opposite of learning. You are discarding at the rate you are introducing. So I am not surprised when it feels like you have lots of gaps in your knowledge or feels like you're treading in place, because there's no active learning. It's, in my opinion, not in the sense of comprehension. Memory maybe, memorization perhaps. Memorization and learning are kind of coupled a lot of times. But what are you memorizing? Only the things you choose to see? That would be a very small world. Anyways, but I share that. New features bring out new thoughts, right? Whenever I think about, I would love to work on some sort of learning program, but I don't have any programming chops at the moment. The idea is you're using a learning program, right? And I care about, like, personally, maybe I'm an above average person who cares about learning. The idea is if I'm designing something that represents the way I learn, this is not me, as it, for example. So not that it's a bad feature or a good feature. I'm not the target audience for this. I think this feature, we can explore this feature and utilize this feature. However, I think it's intended feedback, like the introduction of this feature, going back to the beginning, the introduction of this feature is to pander and cater for a purpose that, in my opinion, is antagonistic to learning. It is giving enough flexibility for people, for a large majority of people, to learn less by not challenging them to learn new, but to stick to old. Now, that might be a bold statement. It's quite slightly bold. I think the reason I think this is how people behave, from my observations from how people behave when treating new information. Like you show someone a video and I asked them, can you tell me what you learned from the video? And the first inclination, I would say 9 out of 10 times, would be someone trying to describe exactly what they saw and exactly what they heard. And it's very choppy and it doesn't demonstrate a level of understanding. It simply was an attempt to memorize and recall something verbatim. And that is not the same as learning and comprehension. It's memorization. You attempted to memorize. So whenever I ask, hey, what did you learn today in your studies? The first thing they would probably try to do, the person I'm asking, is verbatim the order of things. Like, oh yeah, today I did this and then it was followed by this and then, you know, leap here, leap 5 minutes later, leap 20 minutes later. I'm like, okay, well that sounds like a very productive day. And then they would respond like, it wasn't all that productive. It's like, oh, well, how so? Can you explain to me how you determine if your day is productive? You tried to list a bunch of things to me. One of the deductive ways from reading your statement is that you had a productive day because it sounds like you've done a lot of tasks. And they would be like, no, it's not that much. I'm like, how? Why? How do you know? Like, did you do this much yesterday? Did you do this much? Do you plan on doing this much tomorrow? Right? There's no connection, no comprehension in what they're saying. They're simply stating. Like, state something is fairly easy, at least in my opinion, as long as you memorize it without its impact. So that's, you could call it a slightly unsolicited public service announcement or something like that. When you delete something, it is deleted. So it has no further consideration for yourself. You can leave the thing there, right? It's a digital space. It's not going to take up something if you don't care about it. However, if you feel emotional about it, then removing it means that it's gone. In this case, it's not actually gone because if you delete it, it'll return to its default. Anyways, that's my thought about features like that. And that's also my thought on Anki as well, and FSRS, and those who can't stick to a structure that isn't their current structure, or compromise or edit schedule things over different things. You don't have to do it. The interesting thing is to tackle the exercise to see if you can do it. If you can't, then that is something you can learn if you want to, obviously, right? You have to be willing to. All right, anyways, let's get into our reviews. Monkey see, monkey do, out of sight, out of mind. Very, very similar concepts that I think it's overrepresented online. The other type of negative idiom that you can probably hear is people don't think anymore. There's no independent thinking. When you're consuming something, the brain turns off. You don't ask yourself, why are you consuming this media? Why is it important to you? How is this contextualized within your own thinking parameters? How does this relate to you? How does it not relate to you? Why does this make you angry? Why does it make you annoyed that it's there? Why do you and how do you want to delete the thing? No process-oriented thinking in most of these choices. They simply do without thinking. So you can watch a movie and not remember anything about the movie. You can doom scroll for 3 hours and remembered one thing, possibly, despite using 3 hours and going through like a blitz of a lot of information. It's actually even quite overwhelming how much information is in the doom scrolling that I may or may not really care about. And that kind of plays to what I was saying. Most of the stuff people doom scroll through, they don't care about. so it requires more and more exponential amount of time of consumption in order to find something meaningful. Wild, man. Wild. Especially when someone can doom scroll for 3 hours, and when I ask them a question, they come up with 3 words. Or sometimes not even any. Like, it was alright. That's probably the 3 words. Or, like, I watched Cats. 3 hours. I watched Cats. And then, obviously, what I would typically try to do is ask them, so what kind of cats were there? Did you like particular cats? I personally like the meme that deals with ginger cats or red cats versus or orange cats like tabbies, with the contrast to black cats. They often are personified as having typical behavioral tendencies reflective of their popular personalities. Like the orange cat is the one that's often mischievous and kind of derpy, and the black cat is often possibly serene and mellow, right? That kind of thing. Those things exist, and I'm trying to seed some form of intrigue, but that doesn't increase the conversation or the level of depth of the conversation. It simply is me droning on and talking more and more at length about something I don't even care about more than the other person, because the reason is I don't even spend that much time watching cat videos. I don't doom scroll 3 hours to gather that information. I see 1 or 2 shorts and I'm like, oh, well, that's the information that's in the doom scrolling. Meanwhile, when I talk to another person, none of that information comes through in our interaction. So effectively, out of sight, out of mind. That information is not there, right? You don't think about the thing you're looking at. You simply do and consume it. So someone could say, oh yeah, I really hate AI slop. I'm like, hey, can you explain to me what is it about AI slop that you hate about? Like, well, it's all the same thing. It's like, can you explain to me how they're all the same thing? They would show me a doom scroll. We would doom scroll the stuff. Literally, we would doom scroll the same thing, screen sharing or something. Doom scroll the same thing. And I'm like, I see 10 different types of AI slop. How are all these the same thing? Well, they're all generated by AI. I'm like, is that all you think about? You doom scrolled for 2 hours and the only thing you're telling yourself is AI slop, AI slop, AI slop, as opposed to why this AI slop is like this AI slop that you both find disagreeable, but yet one is about someone doing a impossible physical feat, and the other one is about 2 cats talking to each other, or moving in an unnatural way, right? I'm describing what's in the doom scrolling, and I'm comparing and contrasting between them despite AI slop. The other person's I'm just scrolling through. So the action of scrolling is all they cared about. They didn't even see why they're doing it. Now you might be thinking, why do you need to know that then? Why do you want to ask this person why they hate AI slop and how they hate AI slop? Is the reason why I'm asking why is because if they don't understand why for themselves, or what or how would you be able to convince them to stop? Or how would they convince themselves or educate themselves whenever they need to stop? So when someone says, oh, I didn't do my homework because I got distracted by Discord. Okay, so what distracted you about Discord? I don't know, Discord is my comfort zone. I'm like, well, it would be great if you knew the nature of how Discord distracts you so that you can actually try to do something about it. The alternative is you lose agency instead. So usually I would say at least more than 50% of the people that I have interacted with lose agency instead. They're willing to give up their agency, then figure out why they keep getting upset when they can't get any work done. Right? Like, I don't know, I started playing Roblox and then 5 hours went by and it's like, oh, you must have done a lot in Roblox. Can you tell me a little bit? I mean, you played Roblox for 5 hours. Got a lot of things must have happened, right? Can you tell me a little bit about what you do on Roblox? Like, I just vibed. Okay, so you're gonna summarize your last 5 hours of Roblox as a vibe. Okay, so what are you doing now? It's like, oh, I gotta do homework because I ran out of time doing homework. It's like, okay. And in the future, how are you gonna do your homework more efficiently and not run out of time? And they're like, well, you know, I'll just do my homework faster. I'm like, you sure it has nothing to do with the 5 hours of Roblox that you just vibed and not have any memories or active concerns about it? I obviously don't say it directly. I typically try to encourage the person to deduce the connection, right? I can't tell you how often I hear someone say, I don't have time for this. And this was right after they explained to me how they used a lot of time and remember nothing about it to another person. So either the time is worthless or have no value, and yet it's still consuming all your time. How do I make the person realize that? That's kind of one of the biggest challenges right now, where someone would say, oh, I asked them, what is the purpose of you wanting to do this? And then they would cite a bunch of examples like A, B, and C. I'm like, oh, okay, well, you can do these following things. And the next thing I hear when I talk to them is, oh, I found all these excuses not to do that thing. It's like, well, you lied to me then. Either you're lying to yourself or you're lying to me that you actually care about doing those things, because you literally decided not to do those things. You looked for every possible reason to not do the thing that you just told me you cared about. You don't care about something if you're trying your best not to do it. Kind of like your homework. You know, in my opinion, the vast majority of people, I believe, have plenty of time to do their homework. And the more encouraging thing to do is not to punish them for saying they're procrastinating and they're not doing their homework, is to make them more active in understanding where their time is going. Right? I think this is a little bit passé nowadays, where someone would punish based on the thing they have to do versus the things they want to do being insufficient. Hello there, Sub. Did you finish your interview? Are you back from your interview, Sub? How did that go? I'm guessing now it's tomorrow, or is it tomorrow? So usually when I say, is doom scrolling helping you finish your homework? Right? And if not, can you describe the doom scrolling for me? That's the idea. You're trying to find the source of insufficiency, not punish the source of hypothetical. So whenever someone says like, oh, I didn't do my homework, that's why I hate myself. I'm like, that's one way to go about it. It's a very poor negative feedback loop. Instead, ask yourself, where did your time go? What did you do with that time? And then you ask them, was that time meaningful to them? And not necessarily in those words, but try to illustrate to them that that time might not be meaningful to them. Where when you ask, oh yeah, you love playing this game. Oh yeah, you really love playing that game. Can you tell me a little bit about your video game? And they would say, well, I don't remember anything. It's like, it's not a very important video game, is it? It's 1 a.m. here. You're trying to sleep. Oh, okay. Well, what is it that you try to do to sleep? Is it you're trying to sleep for the interview? Because you mentioned yesterday, like you meant yesterday, my time yesterday, you mentioned about an interview. So your interview is soon then, right? Is this headdress? Yeah, it's headdress. Right. Oh, we got 3 freebies. Not bad. Not bad. I'll think about that again. Your interview is at 10 a.m. Ooh. How are you gonna get to bed? What's up? Is it you're unable to sleep? Is it because of the interview? Is it related to the interview? You got this. Been working hard on all of this. This is Shoal. Right, no, Jiao, sorry, Marsh. I don't... Oh, Japanese. I wrote Shoal because of Japanese. Pepper. Container. Heck. Is it pungent? I'm gonna say... Oh no, it's not. It's not that. I don't know how... let me think. You're super anxious? Well, hopefully you find some way to get some rest while, you know, you using or addressing that anxiousness. I don't think anxiousness will obviously I'm not going to tell you that anxiousness is going to go away. I think anxiousness and nervousness is a natural part of human experiences. How the human creates routines to like manage it and utilize it is kind of something that goes a long way. Yeah. Slaughter. Maybe we can do something else, like being pot container of pungent pepper for the do a container of pungent peppers from the basement to help slaughtered school as of we'll try that.
E.
Brim or overflow, yeah. Fair enough. Eh? I have a 50-50 on this. Heck. Jiao Xiao. Okay, chirp. Dang it. Sao and Jiao. It was a 50-50. Could I make this more selective? Can I make this more selective towards Zelda? Chirp. Oh, princess chirping. Okay.
造，载，虎，
Okay. What happened here? I had you. I don't have you anymore. Okay. So it is off Meow. So this is Meow. And then we can add Meow to this. Where the Meow are we here? Meow. Starting to sound like a cat. Meow. Where the Meow? Oh, maybe it's not. Is there another character involved? Wait. There's no I in Meow. Interesting. Hold up. I might have missed it, but let's do here. Okay, I know there's Meow, but oh, it's woman. So there's no I in Meow. Okay. Yeah, a few doesn't help. 2 eyes, spray. It's not the greatest. And then Sha was a default sound because Sha also shares this character. So we're still in the same neighborhood. However, it's the only eye, right? Few eyes. Okay. We have few eyes. Say something like few eyes on sand. Insignificant. Oh wait, we could use maybe, hold up. What about eye and spray? Eye and spray could be useful. There's no eye and spray. Okay. Alright, maybe we use eye spray. Okay. So, he is checking door. He's seeing to Insignificant. Such a tough word to create something around. Yeah, I'm using double negative. Double negative makes things tougher for. All right. I think eye spray will be the defining factor there. What in the world are you? It's clearly not that. Hmm. Hmm. Oh.
崩
Eye spray few.
秒
Yo, what? Oh, goodness. Wrong tone. Okay. What? Promise? Yeah. Oh. Wrong promise. We can adjust. Nope, can't adjust this.
井
Ye what? Darn. Alright, okay. Construct. Yeah, I relied on Chiku for this. Maybe we can do something about the middle thing. What? Oh. There isn't a tree. Interesting. Actually, a small art piece, right? Okay. Yeah, it's sway. Tunnel. Alright.
湖
Yo, what? Oh, this is Jong or track.
岁 包 没
Berries. Okay.
起
Oh no, I can only think of Cho. Yeesh. It's probably Ding. Summit. Wrong tone. What's page? Just still page. Okay. All right.
宗 顶 找 煮
As create. Oh, construct is create.
桥
Not disguise. Then broad. Okay. Jie.
解
Okay. Oops. Yeah.
约
That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right either. Oh, wait.
我
Heck. It's, arm. Probably pun. Betray. Right, because at a half of the swing. Gravitates towards Quay. I don't think Quay seems right. Oh, it could be. Oh no. Jian. Ooh, Mountain Spring is a problem. We can do something with like interval or something. Oh, no, we do have interval. Okay. Can't say I'm too confident in that one. We're probably gonna do 50 today. Make time for finishing up something from yesterday. Possibly. I feel like this is chi. Yeah. Oh, that's right. The right hand. The right hand, yeah. Hang on, can I change this up for bend? Oh, I can change it up for bend. That's why I typed chu. Okay. Alright, so we got the two lined up. Hopefully. I think the leftist thing is kind of weak. Actually, okay. Let's go and condense this to. Oh no, you can't. Just gotta look it up on the sway. So I guess we can combine the sway. Okay. Okay. Hmm.
剑
What the heck is my ant? Ant? Oh,
九
Oxybustion. We meet again. Oxybustion.
绝
Thai.
盼
Okay.
革
It's an no, wait, that's a plant. The kutsu. Picking kutsu.
细 你
What? Huh. Thai? How did it end up being in the middle of the thing? I encoded the wrong tone. That's a womp womp. I thought this was like like a... Oh, it's a bamboo shoot. Not a Jin, a Shin. Did I use uniform? Or group of 10? Oh, I did. Ours, right? Okay.
雀
What the shit? It's kind of like that's okay. I was thinking like confirming something. Okay.
台 水 蒙 和 蟹
That's fool. That hibiscus as well?
轮 马
Eh?
针 猪
No. Heck. It's nay. I wrote nine.
福
Okay.
善
It's one.
宁 趴
Ugh. Wait.
辽剁
Oh goodness. Which one? Which is analysis?
西
Oh, it's fair skin actually. It's fair skin, not analysis.
笋 生 鱼
explanation. Let's see. Okay. Oh, come on, not again. Oh, wait.
烟
It's not this. It's like this here. Oh no. Oh no. Probably quit. Okay. Or burst. Okay.
路
Is this indiscriminate? Oh no. Oh wait. Seep. Dang. What was indiscriminate? It's not Lu. It's Li. Li. Or Lian. Or no, Lan. 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 Or is it Lie? Man.
一
Alright, we're just gonna do more than
哟
we're gonna do 100. Every time I say I'm gonna cut it in half, it just feels like I need more. Need more.
哪 路 蛙
Low lying. It's rough.
会 逆 湖
Oh, we're hitting a lot of new ones.
电
What the Dian? Tiptoe? Okay.
和 爱
What? Oh, Ma. Whoops. Ma.
加 烹
Why did I think it's
或
Huo? Okay.
马 鱼 记 色 薄 锤 静
What? Oh, I guess I need to keep silence. Alright, fair enough.
清
On? Or, heal? Yeah, okay. What in the world?
举 采 书 聘
The heck? Oh no, it's not C, but Xiao. Xiao for owl. Okay.
有
Oh, what type of fish is this? It's certainly not. It's probably squid. Dang it. Mutant. A mutant squid. It's probably done here. Okay.
烟
I have so many 50-50s now.
绝
It's a silly goat! A faint. Okay. Faint goat.
周 拽 猛 蛋 噌
Oh, that's whoosh.
燕
I can't spell.
二
Or 2 seconds. Yo, what? Just went with it. Probably a shovel. Because of the autumn, yeah, the autumn thing.
个 智 他 丑
The heck? D for D? Okay.
苏 烦 油 消 敌 枕
Ah! That's bull.
理 波 干 侠 敲 方
Oh, it's not Yi. It's Yin. Right. Okay.
满 卢 西
We're gonna have some vocabulary lessons today, for sure.
搜
I think a lot of these are
光
new ones.
荡 狼
It's why I'm like pushing through them really fast. Because these are all the new ones.
齐，当，撤，缠，
Heck! Heck! Wait.
穷，流，
Yellow? Okay. Oh no, that's no. 墙 roses. Oh, the wall. Okay. How is this not one? One. Oh. Oh. Oh no, it is one. Okay, for P. Do I have the beans, right? As if? No, as if it's not great. Okay. And lucky. So Xia crafty. No, because of the soldier look. Right.
念，霞，
Oh no. It's crafty. Okay. Okay. All right.
圆，
Hmm. Oh no, this is like a shaft, a cart shaft. That's rough. The heck? Skin and foot. Probably ball. Okay, for lame. The right, I changed up to what? Surplus? Goldfish, yeah, to sell on credit. Not getting the electricity plant. The electricity plant is kind of okay. I can only see Te right now. Probably Ding. There. I mean, oh yeah, because of the ding on the right, which is set. Yeah, set. I went with Lee because of gravel.
全 汉 奢 燕
Oh no, this is the Hun or the wontons sentence. Okay, still not the greatest though.
强
Wait, what type of flowers was this?
撅
Not cranky. It's kind of like making a fuss. Oh, pout. Okay. Oh no, 2. I've got the top thing. It's a contraction. Oh no. Probably that. Okay. Mandarin duck. How do I know it's yuan from the top? Because the top shares the yuan. Oh, resentment. I can add resentment in it. Sort of. Eh, there is another Mandarin duck somewhere.
弯
Oh, this is wall. I keep typing the wrong tone.
瓜 撅
Eh? Oh, probably chair. Okay. Imp. Adding me. Okay.
央
That's the Mandarin duck. The silk. The silkworm presented to. Oh, it's not. It's too moth. The guy throwing at the Pope. Okay.
离
Oh no, that's not drench. It's seep through. There is a drench like that though.
绝
How did the doggo work? Something like it's an action description. Dang, the doggo was on with the pet, pet goat. Still gonna push a little bit.
任 争 素 熏 度 外 魂 谢 盾
Oh, I forgot how. Oh, the other. Right.
力
Oh. Probably whetstone. Whetstone. Okay.
囊
Mumble, mutter. Okay.
瘸 定 痞 减
What? Oh, no way. I thought this was abandoned. It's not abandoned.
我
No, not the did lack. Oh. I think this is Rust. Hey. Oh, jeez. A is still not good. You did this to pay for. Yeah, you did this, yeah. Okay.
断 减
And it's in the front?
冤
Oh, I don't think I. Oh, a second. I didn't add any secondhand. Oops, Mandarin duck. I didn't add any secondhand goods. Mm.
鱼 B 按你 A 想
With the shack with the trellis. Wait. This is not shop, but I'm stuck on shop. What this the okay. It's the shop, right? Yeah, it is shop. That's right. Okay.
领半音
Oh goodness. What type of bird was this? Probably parrot. There is an oriole.
了
Not that one.
钻
The heck? Oh, this probably a meme. Yeah.
智
YOLO? Okay. Oh, that's the leap thing. Leap up.
兔 雕 玉
Oh, and that's not bleed. I did this yesterday too. Less okay. The 50-50 at the moment. Oh, that's white. And it's gone. It's not day, it's white. Oh! Bay, not Bay. For the people out and yes, deflate. It's a white thing, not a day thing. What's happening here? Oh.
鱼
Yep. Not that. It is start. The ticket with metal. This is the crisscrossing thing.
摇 汆 颤
Oh no, I lost it.
叫
Actually, I kind of want to. How did I? Okay.
记，容，容，玉，像，醋，炉，罗，
Oh no. I think this is mule. Okay. I haven't figured out what donkey is in.
标，容，雁，别，西，中，窗，吃，卵，
This like mountain range. Oh, it's just mountain. Mountain rain.
擦，
What? What? Oh, scraping sound? Okay, fine. Whatever. Whatever, man.
边，鸡，卵，
Oh, it's not twin. It's contract. I don't know how I'm gonna do contract. Yeah, not sure. We'll pass. No. Unreliable.
脸，
Like.
螺， 玉，
No. Bing. Okay. I tried. That was from yesterday. Bing. Let me.
« 冰，
And
入， 碗，
it's just like a bit of crafty, tactful. Okay.
冰，
Don't remember the tree. Oh, it's this. Yeah, it's not a tree, but it's like a vine-esque. Click of the tongue, yeah.
同
It's a tree that I can't. It's a different name. Yeah, Polonia. Oh, you know what? Polonia just came up yesterday. What was it? Oh, was it in Persona? It's fine. We're getting used to the tree names in English, actually. Not even
则
the Chinese. The Chinese is actually easier to remember to read than the English. The English is harder.
其
Such a crazy thing to say,
国
I suppose. Not really. Alright. We crossed 200 actually. So I think we got like 20 vocabulary words, right? 16, almost. Alright, let's do the quick vocabulary.
语语
Overreach today for a little bit. Yi. I don't know how yi works. I guess echo. Twice sounds like an
语
echo.
语
Oops. I mean, whispering.
比例
Li. Whetstone plus whetstone. Double whetstone.
比例
Okay.
荡漾
Young. Ripple and squander and ripple? The heck? Alright, well,
荡漾
that's a really weak one. Oh, I get it. Ripple.
缠
Okay.
造
Fair enough. Kind of like vicissitude in a way. Swaying and rippling. Squandering. Fun. Kind of like squirming. 长叫. Oh, hey, got chirping. I actually dropped this. Okay. So cicada chirping.
缠造繁入
Unrule. Elaborate. Oh, too numerous elaborate. Oh, I dropped this yesterday. Unrule.
繁入
Okay. Oops. I didn't finish it because it was the same
缠
sound.
造 繁入语语荡漾比例
Okay.
钻井
Gunji. Oh, okay. Hold tight. Oh, hey, it's the other one that I needed to cooperate with Fan. Okay. Neat. That's a coincidence.
钻井
Like tight grip or hold tight. What do we got? Clench. Okay.
熔岩
Rongyan. Okay, Rongyan makes sense. Melt it. Yeah.
熔岩康里
Kali. Yeah, Kali. Doesn't. That's a transliteration.
康里犀牛
新牛. Okay.
犀牛
Don't see it as a cow, but I
豌
got
豆
you. One do.
豌豆
I dropped one today. A little disappointed.
钻井康里熔岩豌豆犀牛
Okay.
冰雹，
冰雹 hail okay
冰雹，缎带，
缎带 oh silk interesting
缎带，熏肉，
熏肉 smoked meat
熏肉，榕树，
榕树 yeah dang it 八年
榕树，地窖，
地窖 oh that's good a cellar 窖 was really weak
地窖，冰雹，地窖，
Ching was pretty weak
熏肉，榕树，
this was pretty weak too the English was weak
缎带，
oh it's okay and one last
熔
one
点，
熔点 that's melting point
熔点，熔点，
all right cool oh got some extra in it does when you get momentum it feels good and this stack is gonna keep going up for the recent ones because the recent ones oh wow we cleared the rest of the list okay yeah the recent ones are gonna recur quicker so regardless of how quickly we go through they're gonna come up again at least double time all right so let's go through our thingy-mabobs. The remainder of our 87. Cleared like 130 of them plus today. Okay. Chung, anxious. G, narrow. Trey, Mallet. Way, stride. Wool, falsely accused. Oh, no, wait, that's not it. That's, sure. Or bite. Mung, deceive, dual, stamp feet, to thatch, Ian, none, do, pimple, ching, honest, mung, lemon, sincere, tie, mustard, Dre, all, who, puff, nor, outwardly, fool, bat, Yao, Sage King, overcome, E, palpitate, I, trample, Ling, chili, Yang, Heart of Day, Young, Aid, Oyster, Moth. Dang it. the other moth is too, right? That's okay. Pool, garden, scar. Tray, gather together. Sugar cane. Yeah, plants. Wash. Chin, dazzle. Dren, prefecture. Unrestrained. Lee, shiver. Chun. Wu, absent-minded. Sway, era plants. Su, revive. All, or high. Owl, roar. Lian, sickle. Chin, cheekbone. Your simple. Lu. Oh, that's donkey. Law, that's donkey. Oh no, Lu is donkey. Dang it. So it is Lu. Okay. So I can't even mix up mule and donkey. Okay. What in the... Yeah? Crab? Oh no, shit. Oh no. Kani. Alright. Okay. What is this? Sure. Right. Sure for manufacture. Liang? Oh, wait. Oh no, it's Jing. Dang. The 50-50 on the read. Jing for whale. Manufacture is kind of weak. On the... Oh, actually, that's okay. Oh no, the fault in the silk. I'm gonna say Leo. Okay, tough. That's lack of a better word. That's tough. Leo. What in the world? Leopard land. Mai? How do you get Mai from? This is a big one. I'm gonna have to look at that one. Oh goodness, I'm not sure about G. The horse really throws me off. That looks like... Oh no, that's not even close either. What do I get near? No idea for near either. So hold up. I'm gonna put X's next to these. Those are really rough. Jing, I think this is Oriole. Okay. Oh, what? Holy what? Okay, I have no idea. I have no idea what that is. How did I even... Voice recording teeth? How did I get teeth into it? I have no idea. Okay. Think about Jing. Sonar. Oh, Kun. Oh no. Oh no. I don't have Kun either. No idea. I don't even know how that sounds like Kun either. These are probably some of the last ones, right? Oh wait, no. Yeah, Cho. Melancholy. Okay. Hey, what is that? That's definitely rest. But how do we rest? Yeah. Some weak one. That's pretty bad. Chow. Raise foot. Chi. No. I have no idea how that's chi either. Dang. You get chi from that. Oh. This strong. Qiang, and it's the other sonorous. Okay, things are falling off the handles as we. We have two sonorous. Kung and Qiang are both horrendous. I'm guessing they're both related to each other. Oh, these are probably the last. Most of the last ones. So all of these are really weak. This? Nope. I don't know how that's J either. Nope, no idea how that's J. one's okay. Oh no. Probably Qing. I know it's Qing spasm. I think spasm's okay. That's not. I don't think that's Hua. I think it's Gui. Salmon. What in the? Something makes me want to type. Something makes me want to say it's like Qiang or Qiang. And it's stagger. Okay, I think this one's okay. Qi, what the Qi? Oh, chirp is bad. What chirp did I miss today? Jiao. Okay. Shin. Shin color or Shin color. Oh no. What is the tongue? Wow. No. Kind of weak. That's definitely cool. Faded. That's kind of weak. All of these are kind of weak. Just looking at them. Most of these are kind of weak. Like, I guess this is Qiang Yi. Elm tree, okay, sure. Elm tree. Liao. That's on the translation. Yi again. Oh no, it's tool. Dang. That is not good. That is really bad. I know you. Oh, okay. Go for the blender. Found a win. This one's okay. This is supposed to be Lee. On. Oh, because of deep pool. And just on. That's bad. Either you know it or you don't. This is Jen. Silk. Or thin strong silk. This is Yen. Ape. That one's okay. Twin is okay. Dull, blunt. Un for saddle. Okay. The saddle doesn't even have a horse in it. So I've been getting it kind of mixed up with Ji, which is bridle. It's actually kind of related. What is this? Fuck. Guessing it's Will. Which could be, oh, that's the gemstone mix up. Okay. Heavy, probably Chong. Irresolute. Ooh, irresolute. I can't see it, resolve it. Sneeze. E. I don't remember what the bottom thing is. This one's gone. Like, not even close. Help with the metal. Nope. No dice. Even worse than the sickle. I'm guessing this can be T or U. Oh, it's Chu? Oh no. Toad. Why do I think it's... Oh, because I'm clustering them together. These are read problems, not both. Yao for noisy, or no, Tao for no. Wrong initial. This is Tao. One's kind of okay. Just done. Chang. Another toad. That has a change in sound. Okay, so let's go over these. Here we go. I'm not even... So this one is the handsaw. Handsaw into a moth. The top, it's a misread on Xie. Xie is shared, so untie. Untie is shared with Xie. And then how does share translate? Shares with crab. So we go with untie into crab in bathroom. Okay. Jing. Jing is a misread. Jing, we have capital. Capital building is the key. The shared read. Leo has nothing. Gonna have to be maybe like a silk screen. Alti silk screen. Hair, probably. Mie? I have no idea what Mie is. So, Mario, school. Yeah. Haze. Oh, I didn't even do anything with Mie. Okay. Yeah, I saw raccoon dog, but that's not close enough. Hmm. Leopard with Chinese mile away. Whoops. Hmm. Uh, at the high school. Oh, it's not even yeah, it's my. Hmm. Okay. I guess that's okay. Try to do something. At least something. Okay. So wrote something for that. This one, yeah, what is it? G, maybe like a high tech. So we got to think of a high tech, either vital. Yeah, I have no idea how yeah works. Wild. What the heck the top thing is? Like evil. Like what is that? The heck is with that? Although we can probably do, oh goodness, a share on top. You serious? You put share on top of that's evil. There's no doubt about it. That is evil. All right, well, guess we're gonna do just the plant king chase die in evil child found gnome with carrying suspicious pepper flower child share is really skies poisons for peppers. Nice to wash the flowers out of the system quickly. Using the as yeah, something like that. That's pretty evil, to say the least. I'll do a few more of these. I'm not going to do all of these. I think that will come with time for a little bit. We'll fill them in with time. For this one, Chul. So what do I have? I have like a recorder and teeth. Oh, I did write something. Special voice recorder. Can I do something else? The recorder sentence. Yeah, it's just collecting their teeth for the voice recorder. Nothing else. Yeah. I'll have to go with that for now. Kung, how do I kung? It's firm. I'm pretty sure bring in use something that's so. Huh. There's no firmness. Here, where did the firm go? Ugh. Okay. Not a great improvement either. Okay. All the X's require looking at it. See the white tongue and heart. Maybe we do like he has to rest, eat everything in the house, and now he's able to rest his tongue. Wait. Oh, that's a nose. Not. Oh, that. Okay. It's not white. I didn't look at it carefully. I probably went with self. Oh, I wrote tongue. Oh, I wrote self and then nose. I see. No, I don't know why I wrote tongue. Oh, no, there is tongue. I see. Okay. This one's kind of okay. The white threw me off so hard when I thought it was white, which it is not. That's okay. Oh, there's so many of them. Qiang. The general. Let's look at these, right? So this is the other sonorous. Sonorous metal. Maybe he's holding it in his mouth. Oh, yeah, I can see how that's a problem. Okay. Okay. I have no idea. I have no idea. No idea. No idea what to do about that one. Other than think of him being sonorous after swallowing it. Chang? Verbose? Verbose. Oh, okay. He's stuck with taking care of verbose toads. Okay. I got this one. This one's okay. Verbose. Troublesome. Tool? I have no idea what to do. I mean, there's nothing to even work with there. And then there's Jui. I'll let two go. I have no idea what to do. The other ones are okay. Like mildly okay. So Owl is the closest. That's why I picked Owl as the read for this. Because I thought it might have something to do with that. It did not. What else can I do? Okay. So George. Chunks. He has found himself doing superfluous job. Forced to do a superfluous job. Meaning because he broke a special military compass. Does not have a or foreman soldier gave him a superfluous task to do. Okay. It's okay. I think the shellfish is probably the dividing line for that one. And then let's look at these quickly. G, that does look like G. But it's an utterance, so it has to be chirp. The other G I was thinking of today was famine, right? G, chirp. Machine that chirps very loud. I remember that. Shen. Decoration. Okay. Helping, like, this one's weak. Color. Probably he was spraying and washing around, he believed. There's no... Okay, and there's no, like... I didn't use proclaim at all. Okay. Alright. Definitely a bit on the weaker side. It's gonna be off the proclaim now. Okay. Wah. The dog tongue. Dog tongue is the... Right. Flapping dog tongue in the wind. That's for that. Yeah. That's a misread on the... That's a 50-50 on the read of the armory. and then elm tree, so you know it or you don't. Liao for the fingers. Fingers is tough. Maybe like he teased animals off the finger. An is you know it or you don't. It's gonna be off the reed of the deep pool. Have words of exchange with Tan. And then Yi. Oh no, T. He is weak. But these two are rough as heck. This one is a misread off the secret agents. Chul, both Chuls. This is a pivot on Chul. Maybe we can do something like a... That's a... Harmonica... Harmonica is me, actually. Could use surplus. So, yeah, we'll leave these three go. Alright. Pretty okay for now. He is wild. Hope. Me. The bottom. Sneeze. Right. I used the bottom for something. Warm bath. Treat. There's hello. How did this slip through? I must have been not paying attention. I don't see how this slipped through. Yeah. That's a wild one. Maybe it was just really difficult at the time. I mean, I wrote something, but it's pretty bad. Maybe it's like I was thinking correctly. I don't know where. Huh. I genuinely have no idea where I'm getting. Yeah. It's like missing it's like missing half the radicals. Okay. Let's make this. Um, I mean, it's still tough. Okay, I think that's good. Okay. My eyeballs. All right. Good enough. Leaves us with ample time. All right, folks. All the time I'm gonna spend today with HanziHero. Man, it did blow through like 100 of these on this. It's nice to see this list visible with all the problematic ones. That's a pretty large group right there. Right. Watch this later. 谢谢. As always, feel free to follow along, pick up HanziHero for yourself, give it a try. Again, I spent like the first like hour and a half talking about a new feature. It's really neat that the peeps, the Kevin or Phil, is getting back. I think it's largely Phil that's doing the reporting. I don't know who's doing their coding. It's not quite clear if Kevin and Phil has a middleman or not, because oftentimes they talk about putting in a ticket and then like making a list, putting on the list, but it's not quite clear who is actually doing the back end stuff for this, or the hosting or whatnot. I feel like there's a bit of tools and middleman going on here. Nevertheless, it brings up a very interesting discussion. So, or at least I thought it's very important to note these things. And I talked at length about how while tools are great and they can be feature rich, typically flexibility and feature rich of a tool can be both a detraction and a boon. While objectively it's great when you have a tool that does everything, subjectively it may or may not be, it can be both beneficial and possibly deleterious or distracting to someone who's learning. It can also be very limiting, because with flexibility, that doesn't guarantee that the subjective choice is made without experience. So, for example, one could make an argument, hey, the internet has all the information in the world. Okay, so you let varying people of varying ages, or you can even have that same person make all the decisions, right? They have full autonomy. But without structure, there's no foundation to be built. So despite someone who has a foundation in a lot of things, say like mathematics or physics, or usually it's not that high of a thing. There are foundations in learning and questioning based on your professions, but let's not talk about physicists or a mathematician, but more like someone who's exploring an area that they want to learn that may or may not be their area of expertise or an experience that has a reasonable transferable skills, right? If you're giving them all the choices, that doesn't necessarily provide the structure or the selective preferences and direction, right? It can be aimless wandering indefinitely. In fact, it can also lead to red herrings and traps. So it's not always guaranteed that, despite objectively you can offer as many features as possible or pander to specific feedback, it is required to understand the nature of the feedback and the person giving the feedback must also be responsible for understanding that nature. Otherwise, yes, objectively speaking, if a tool can do everything, it's great. Subjectively, it is not, because humans they make subjective choices based on the objective facts. Like, the facts themselves are objective. The choices and decisions that are made are often a mix of subjectivity based on objective observations. So in this case, oftentimes I do find that when the more inexperienced someone is with like varied skills, the more likely that when given more choices, they are likely going to ignore more things and learn less, because learning less is more efficient. It's easier. It requires less effort. Structure that counters the structure that causes someone to solve a problem, maybe even an efficiency problem, can lead to learning. Now, whether it is productive or a good use of time or a waste of time, that is definitely why flexibility is good, because you can choose to be as efficient as possible and use all the features and mirror everything you have learned. That's great. And if you get the job done, we're good. If you're upset that your learning potential is limited or you're stuck spinning the same wheel, the likelihood in a feature-rich tool, using feature-rich tool, is that you are spinning the wheel, not the tool. So this is the type of spinning that I am most associated with when I'm speaking to people who are younger and inexperienced. When they are high school students or university students, they spin the wheel that they built very, very early on and very quickly. Some might say 18 years is not very quickly. Generally speaking, the learning routine that matures very quickly is like within the last 4 years of high school, or like, you know, for the 4 years in high school and then off to college. And when they're spinning, being refractory to trying to acquire new experiences in order to create new learning opportunities, that is coming at the cost of flexibility. So given all the choices, in my opinion, you can't ignore what I believe is a basic human function, a basic human condition. You take the path of least resistance, and that path of least resistance when it comes to intellectual development is the path you learn the least. And you develop the least amount of skills to tackle skills that are difficult, or quote unquote unfamiliar, as opposed to using ease and difficulty. It's familiar and unfamiliar. And that's what brings up the whole pandering thing. I think video games fall under the same category. It's a compromise. You're trying to meet experienced people bringing something of their own, and experienced people who consume things together, not necessarily providing a way to circumvent each other. Like, hey, I don't like playing this game because I'm not good at it. That's kind of the area we're at. I don't like learning this way because I'm not good at learning this way. There aren't prescribed ways people learn. When problem solving and critical thinking skills are on the table, there are styles, restrictions, and conditionals, and desires and subjectivity that limits one, when critical thinking and problem solving skills are not on the table anymore. So that's kind of why I ranted about an hour and a half to 2 hours. I think seeing a product develop is what makes it really interesting. Like, I'm pretty well versed in how I would use pretty much what's available here on HanziHero. So every new addition or feature gets me thinking, like, what are the ramifications? What is the nature of adding this feature, etc.? Because that's what I would be thinking of. I don't build any products. I don't sell any products other than the services of learning, right? Like if we had to sit down and prepare a schedule to help someone improve their grades, that's probably something I would do. And in this case, it goes into product design. When you're trying to educate people or try to create a product to educate people, that's what I take very, very passionately. And in this case, even the idea of being able to edit the source material, like technically it's considered source material, I think that might be an overcompensation for displaying of a lack of confidence in your own writing, which may be very well true. Like the people who wrote the mnemonics, like Kevin or Phil, it's probably a mix of automation and some sort of, like, I can tell there's automation and whatnot. That might breathe a reason to allow editing, to compensate, to allow users to compensate for that. And I'm not suggesting it's bad or good or amoral or ethical. The idea is I'm trying to understand the nature of why someone, a developer, would offer a feature that circumvents and displaces their content. There might be apprehension, there might be a low confidence, there might be occurrences of disagreement. So that's kind of why I brought that up. Again, you're more than free to follow along. Pick up HanziHero for yourself, give it a go. Feel free to come on by, share your thoughts, right? And maybe contrasting viewpoints on what I've said today. That's where the discussions and the intellectual growth comes from. The exchange of ideas and attempts of achieving comprehension, right? Understanding, not ignoring disagreements, ignoring and turning a blind eye or out of sight, out of mind approach to basically learning, in my opinion. You're more than welcome. So until next time, keep encouraging each other to learn, and I'll see you guys next time. 大家下次见，感谢观看。I'm gonna get up, stretch, walk around, and take a quick bathroom break, and I'll be back to finish up some P5X stuff. Thank you.